What's up, y'all? My name's TJ Veltira, aka 2Braidz. I'm a Red Lake Ojibwe from northern Minnesota, but I grew up in the city, so I'm a city Indian. They call me 2Braidz because I'm actually a rapper. You can check my music out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. That's the number 2Braidz, 2Braidz. I also am the program director at the Little Earth Boys and Girls Club in South Minneapolis. And then I'm also a pastor at Lebanon Lutheran Church, which is in South Minneapolis. And really, I say all that to say, really, I'm just a youth advocate. I want to advocate for young people, and I want to be the resource for them that I felt like I never had growing up. And so I'm 32 years old now. I've been married for 8 years. I have 2 sons, beautiful wife, but my life wasn't always successful and it wasn't always great. So I come from addiction, I come from crime, poverty. I was a gang member, criminal. I did a lot of bad things in life. In and out of jail. I've seen friends murdered by gun violence. My brother is currently serving a life sentence in prison. And I've been through a lot of traumatic things in life, some of which were I didn't ask for, and some of them were self-inflicted based upon bad choices that I made and based upon hanging around people that I had no business hanging around. But through the grace of God and through mentorship and through people investing in me, I was able to turn my life around, get sober, go to college. I graduated from North Central University, which is in Minneapolis by the Viking Stadium, got my bachelor's degree. Even though growing up, I was told by police and even teachers probably wasn't going to amount to anything. And yet here I am, a college educated indigenous man with a family who can pay his bills, doesn't have to worry about it, has a nice house. It's a great thing to be able to start investing in generational change. And so my experience as a Native student, is twofold. One, I considered it an honor to be a Native student because a lot of times in some of the schools I was at growing up, I was the only Native student, or I was the minority by far. One of the stories I can share with you was in 6th or 7th grade. I was in history class and they started teaching us about, American history, and it was a false narrative. And it started by saying a common thing that many people have been taught, that Christopher Columbus founded this nation. And so I raised my hand and I stood up and I said, excuse me, this isn't true. Christopher Columbus didn't found this continent, this nation, this country, because there was already people here, indigenous people. And my teacher didn't like that. And she didn't like that I was questioning her authority, apparently. We got into an argument in front of the class and she gave me detention. I felt belittled. I felt betrayed. I thought a teacher was supposed to be someone who advocated for you and empowered you, and let you tell your story. I felt lied to. I felt like the lowest of low because I was the only Native person in the class at that time. And all I was trying to do was stand up for what I was taught at home and what I know to be true. And so, make a long story short, the issue got resolved. I obviously went back to school, but I'll never forget that. I'll never forget, one, that they were trying to paint a false narrative to us, and two, when I stood up for truth, they didn't want to hear it. And so that's been some of my experience. And then in college, I was the only Native man in my whole college. And so it was hard. I did face some racism. I did face some judgmental people and things like that, but I also faced a lot of people who loved who I was, loved my hair, loved my culture, and I considered it a great honor to be a Native man who got my bachelor's degree and walked across that stage. And when I did that, I didn't do it just for me. I did it for my people, to know this is what a Native man looks like, who's educated. And I'm not going to be a statistic. And I'm not going to be labeled as just, a lot of time Native guys get the bad rap. We're just drunks. We're just womanizers. We're just good at sports. We don't really work. We don't have, success, whatever. I graduated, I walked across that stage with a bachelor's degree for myself, for my family, and for my people as a Native man. And so even why I wear my hair this way is one of the stories I was told. I'll share with you quickly. One of the stories I was told was when a Native man wears his hair braided to each side, it's because he wants to live a balanced life. And so I look at that, and even as I don't know where that cultural teaching came from, I don't know how long it's been in existence, but I look at that and I say, I definitely want to live a balanced life. I want to be a positive person. I want to be an advocate for youth. I want to flourish in the giftings and the talents and the capacities that the Creator gave me. And that's not just unique to me, that's for everyone. The Creator created you with giftings and talents and purpose that you should pursue and that you should seek out so that you know why you're created and so you can flourish as a person and be successful and see your dreams come to pass. I've done things, I've accomplished things. I've been all across the country sharing my story, speaking with people, rapping, investing in communities. And a lot of it I never thought was possible because at the end of the day, I was just a Native kid from the city who grew up in gangs and crime and poverty. And yet here I am today. And so one of my visions, I'm the program director at the Little Earth Boys and Girls Club. One of my visions is to mentor youth and empower them. And so I kind of live my life. There's like 5 E's. So I want to engage people right where they're at. I want to encounter people right where they're at. Excuse me. I want to encounter people right where they're at. I want to engage them with a relevant message. I want to equip them to do the work of their life. I want to empower them. And then I forgot the last one, but I just want to be there for people. I want to be able to have our organization and our youth center be a place where young people and their families can come to get the resources they need and be engaged in programming that's relevant to their life, whether they're an athlete, whether they're a scholar, whether they're into the arts and media. They can come and pursue their passions and their dreams. And we've made films. We made a film on YouTube. It's called Little Earth, Pride of the People, Overcoming the Pain of the Past. We made a film with Chitwood Media and Inverted Arts, myself and 3 high school students from Little Earth. And this film was made and it went all over the world. It was actually entered into the Minnesota International Film Festival. So people could have been watching it in China or Indonesia or Canada or wherever that film was shown. And so those are the types of things we want to do. Yes, we want to have fun with kids. Yes, we want to educate them. But ultimately, we want to empower them and mentor them to pursue their passions and their purpose, to start a business, to go to college, to be an athlete, to be whatever it is they want to be. How can we equip and empower them to do so? And so I'll leave y'all with a closing word. Someone told me this, and it's something that's relevant. I believe it's very relevant and prevalent. Native people, they need heroes that look like us. They need heroes. We need heroes that look like us. And I look and across the spectrum, I see the lack of Native doctors and athletes and politicians and musical people and whatever it is. We need heroes that look like us. And so I would encourage you, whether you're indigenous or not indigenous, you have the power in your hands. Take full advantage of all the resources in your life, the coaches, the mentors, the teachers, the principals, the adults, the youth workers, the pastors, whoever it is that's in your life investing in you. Take full advantage of what they have to say and what they have to offer, and then shoot for the stars. You'll never know how successful you can be unless you try. You look at all the greatest inventors in the world, the greatest athletes. We know the story, right? Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. The greatest basketball player to ever touch a ball at one point was cut by his coach. But he didn't let failure define him. And so that's how I would leave it with y'all, man. Don't let your failures define you. Don't let your fears, your anxieties, your worries define who you are, because that's not who you are. Inside of you is a wealth of resources. And the last thing I'll say is this. You know, the richest place on earth is the cemetery. It's because the cemetery is where everyone's dead dreams go. All the books that weren't written are in the cemetery. All the music that was never produced is in the cemetery. All those business ideas, right? All those ventures, all that entrepreneurship that people were too afraid to try, that is where it went to die with them, in the cemetery. And so I would encourage you that when your life ends, that you'll die empty. You won't have any regrets. You won't have any worries. You won't have any hesitations. You won't die with any of those ideas or resources inside of you, but that you'll go as hard as you need to go to be successful, and you'll try whatever it is that's inside of you, that burning desire, that dream, that passion. You can do it. And so with that, man, I say peace, love, God bless y'all. I'm here for y'all. If you ever see me, if you ever get to know me, know that I'm in your corner and I'm rooting for you. Peace.